I bring this special meeting to order on Tuesday, September the 10th, 2019 at 5:36. There is a need for executive session this evening under CRS Statute 24-6-402, 4B, legal advice, board to conference with the attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific matters. Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move to proceed into executive session pursuant to the statutory citation listed by the chair.
Is there a second?
Madam Chair, I second.
Is there any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, Monica, please.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Still trying to schedule your meeting. Maybe next year you'll have your meeting scheduled.
Oh, I'm all right. What?
Igual que nadie vino. El... Ujú.
How you doing? Oh, just right.
Ok. Sí, pero los voy a poner primero. Too late. Just kidding.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos. Si necesitan servicios de interpretación, estoy en la parte de atrás. Gracias.
Five.
Awesome. It was great.
Well needed.
Yes.
Matt went to grab some waters for you.
Talk to Chuck, he says for you and Ron to be at Ted's on the 27th. It's about 8 minutes from
So when you do roll calls for the meeting, then he should say excused for coming.
Yeah.
If you go right there to this slide, take the right, they go to the dead end. Take the right.
Yeah.
And then you'll short
Yeah.
to the left, and that's
Thank you, sir.
Not yet. He'll keep it until the last.
then you go to
He'll
the
keep
stop
it until the
sign,
last
take
minute.
left, it's about-
So just go on.
It's about between you and me. Well, he told me to tell you and Ron to show up for me. Was you guys never show up? Just tell him. He's the one who's thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
She's not here today, Matt.
Oh, she is? All right, you're lucky to.
Thank you.
How you doing, Jim?
What's going on?
Chewing that one up.
You're up to time, right?
Yeah.
If there's free food, Rolla, it's gonna get eaten.
Thomas, it's time to save these people.
You ready? I'd like to bring this meeting to order on Tuesday, September the 10th, 2019 at 6:45 p.m. Please stand and join us and pledge allegiance in a moment of silence for those who were in the way of Dorian and hurricane, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I get a roll call, please, Monica?
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Moreno?
Here.
Mrs. Quintana?
Madam Chair is excused.
Mr. Rolla?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here. I need a motion to approve the minutes for August 27, 2019.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the meeting minutes of August 27, 2019.
Can I get a second?
Second it.
Is there any discussion? No discussion. Monica, roll call, please.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye. I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
May I get a second, please?
My second.
Is there any discussion? Monica, there's no discussion. Can I roll call, please?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye. There's no recognitions and celebrations this evening. Moving on to audience comments. If there's audience comments, state the name, and please come forward and state your name for the record. I have a policy that is BEDH. To save time, I'm not going to read this whole policy because everybody understand that let's be respectful to each other as we give our comments. Monica, could you please give the first person's name up for audience comments?
Erica Servin?
Good evening. My name is Erica Servin with Adams City High School, student body president for the year 2019 to 2020. As of today, I just wanted to come in and inform you guys on the homecoming week events for the year 2019 to 2020. We will start off with our homecoming week with Monday will be Stripes versus Dots, Tuesday Tie-Dye Day, Wednesday Dynamic Duo, first event starting September 26th with seniors versus juniors Powder Puff from 7 to 9 at Adams City High School. Friday is School Spirit and homecoming football game versus Range U at 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday follows with homecoming parade starting at 9 a.m., and continuing with the community barbecue being put on this year by National Honor Society. There will also be middle school rivalry games going on at the high school at 1 p.m. starting with the football game. There will be a volleyball game and soccer game. And I am also here to formally invite you guys to the parade and hoping to see you guys at all the events that you guys can attend this year.
Just a moment. Any questions? I have one.
Yes.
Who's going to win the Powder Puff? The underclassmen or the...
Well, last year was a little rough, but this year for sure, look out for the seniors because we're coming in hard.
All right. Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carlo? I decided not to butcher your last name.
Thank you. Carlo Krikos. My name is actually from Belgium. Good evening, gentlemen, and Ms. Martinez. My name is Carlo Krikos. I'm the co-founder and the executive director of the YES Institute. The YES Institute is a program that is completely integrated into your school district. It's working in both middle schools this year and also in the high school. And first of all, I want to start off by thanking the Board of Education for investing in the YES Institute, since the board has agreed in the budget to pay for about 60% of the cost for us to have our program at the high school. So thank you so much for that investment. And I wanted to give you some of the results and some of the work that we've been doing at the high school, and compare you to other high schools, because the YES Institute, we're working with about 1,100 students every day in 3 school districts, Denver, Westminster, and Adams 14. And one of the components of what we're doing is that we are supporting students in being successful in their post-secondary career. And so the work that we've been doing in the seniors at Adams City High School last year was that Adams City High School students, compared to the 4 other high schools where we're working, in Westminster and the 3 in Denver Public Schools, were the absolute superstars. They, with the work that we did with them, they earned about $1.9 million in scholarships for their post-secondary career. So, and also the year before, out of the in 2018. They gained about $1.3 million in scholarships as well. Again, outperforming all the other high schools where we are working. So to give you a quick intro to the YES Institute, is we build inclusive learning communities, we say. So we are a classroom inside the school for which the students get credits, and it happens during the school day. And it is an intensive intervention to support the students inside the school. And so we have younger students who need the intervention, and then we also have the older students, which are the role models inside that classroom. And both students get credit for it. And so the younger students see role models from their own communities, which are successful. And so the younger students are being helped in the academics and social-emotional learning. And the older students, we support them in their leadership and then help them in their post-secondary track. As he said, we help them with the scholarships, but also we help them in the transition to college and career, and continue to support your students on the college campus as well. So we believe that it's because there's so many of the first generation students fail once they are on the campus, especially in the first 2 or 3 semesters. And so we continue to be that support there to secure that they are also successful there. There will be 2 speakers from the YES Institute after me. One will be a very eloquent young lady who is a senior. Her name is Cristina Garcia, and then our staff member of Adams City High School, Erica Castro. Thank you so much for your support and for allowing us to work in your district.
Just a moment. Any questions? Questions? Thank you so much for that update. We really, truly appreciate the work you're doing for our students, and our students, I'm sure they really appreciate it too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Cristina Garcia.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina. I'm a
Can you
senior.
pull the mic down?
So,
Thank you.
here we go. Senior at Adams City High School. I've been in Ms. Castro's classroom for a year, and this will be my second and final year. I can't believe how quickly my years have gone by. And I want to take the time to write her a letter. I've taken the time to write each of my senior parents a letter, and hers so happened to be the first one I wanted to write. Definitely loud and goofy in her class, multiple things that people don't realize or know about me. I wanted to thank her for allowing me to share my experiences and thoughts within her beautiful environment of a classroom. She's a strong, powerful, and inspiring woman to me, and I hope many others see that as well. She has provided me with so many lessons about myself that I didn't know I needed. I feel confident with who I am and I represent thanks to the YES program. I am proud to be a young Latina woman in the LGBTQ+ community. I'm also proud to be on a soccer team that benefits me and keeps me out of trouble. I stand up for myself to others that disrespect me and the ones I love in a responsible and smart way. I can walk around in my body and feel comfortable and confident. I can go to school no matter the day I've had before and get through it no matter how hard it may seem. I'm aware now of so many more social justice issues that involve me and my future. One lesson that I always remember from the day that I started there will be the toxic relationship lesson. I always knew there were toxic intimate relationships, but I didn't understand toxic family relationships. In my past, I've had toxic family relationships, but never understood how to get out of them and to conquer them. As of today, I'm learning more suitable situations for myself to get out of those and to stick in the program so that it does better things for me. I have pushed my sister to get into the program to learn how to respect herself and others and do potentially great things with the program like YES, and I know she can do it. So I just wanted to take the time to thank Ms. Castro in my letter. And that is all. Thank you.
Just a moment. Could she come back? Come back, please. Does any board member have any questions?
Just wanted to tell you, thank you for sharing your speech with us, your letter, and it's very inspiring to see that there's actually students, a lot of students I know, in our district that are being inspired by members of the district. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Erika Castro.
Hello, everybody. What's up, y'all? So I am just here before you guys to kind of explain a little bit deeper the curriculum and what exactly the kids that I'm teaching are experiencing every day. So, you know, like Christina said, we do dive into a lot of really serious and sometimes controversial topics, which sometimes does come up because, you know, the content that we are dealing with is social emotional curriculum. So on top of that, we start off the year diving into community, really building bonds and building trust between each other. And so that we kind of have that foundation of love and respect between each other so that we can go into, you know, learning more about themselves, learning more about each other, building confidence to be able to express their opinions. And then the bulk of the semester is really going into, you know, healthy relationships. She kind of touched on toxic relationships. We definitely go into that. We go into relationship abuse. So, you know, I have a lot of prior training to be able to lead these like circles with these young people and to be able to hear them out. And for me, it's just really like an honor to be in these spaces. And I wake up every day and I really, really, truly love my job. And also just like to hear Christina, she just read this to me just yesterday, so it's still like kind of processing. But for me, I think that I take a lot of pride in what I do because as a, you know, a Latinx woman who is a part of the queer community, I like being open with my life in that regard because kids cannot be what they cannot see. And I take a lot of pride being somebody in front of them who they look up to and they can eventually be one day. And, you know, I'm even in pursuit of my master's in the midst of, you know, being their teacher. And I want them to know that I'm going through these struggles too and that they can also accomplish this. But yeah, so on top of healthy relationships, we also talk about, you know, we have a marijuana component. So there's marijuana education, which not a lot of students or schools are doing in Colorado. So that's specifically unique to the YES program. And I don't know if you all know, but YES stands for Youth Empowerment Support Services. And we definitely do that every single day. I try really hard to provide a space where they feel comfortable with themselves, no judgment between each other, and we end the year a lot stronger than they walked in and more confident. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting anxious about time, but I guess anything else I would like to say is that I really appreciate this opportunity because I've been in the district working at Adams City High School for 4 years now, and I've never actually been in front of you all, but I've been working in this community for a while, and I have a true passion for working not only in underserved communities, but in Adams City High School. I don't want to be at any other high school on the planet. This is where I belong. So, yeah, that's me.
Ms. Castro, any comments, board members? Well, I just want to say thank you for a student to come up and read a letter in front of us about the character of a teacher that she admires. That says a lot. So I thank you for all you do for Adams 14. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Guillermo Serna.
Guillermo Serna, 14122 East 102nd Place, Commerce City, Colorado. I'm here, two things. The first one is the sports situation. Our kids on the football team need assistance from this board to ask the sports organization to train your referees that come into the district and they're more partisan in perspective to keeping one side to win and one side to lose. Our kids were hit hard this time around. And I don't know if you know it, but there was an incident at the high school. And we need to respond to that, to these other referees that come and go. They get hired to protect these kids from getting hurt. I wasn't at the game, but I did get a lot of phone calls on not being even when it comes to making calls. And this is not, Mr. Rolla, you know it. When you had a winning team and you were going to Castle Rock and these places, they took advantage of that. But at that time, the board did back up the students and the coaches. Encourage your kids, okay? But have your coaches support them. Don't just say they're coaches. They should have been here asking for support for these kids when it comes to refereeing, because they can compete with anybody. The other part is, I saw an article there on I'm trying to fit on a school type thing. And I'm trying to figure out whether that was an endorsement of a candidate, and if there was any other candidates that were given the same opportunity to have their input in each one of these little brochures or whatever were passed out this weekend. We have to be fair when it comes to not just city elections, but at every local level. And when it comes to educating kids, all our kids are excellent. The ones that are going to make it, they're going to make it. The ones I'm worried about and the ones that need more help or assistance, it doesn't come from the top down. It comes from the bottom up. And it's getting the parents involved along with their children. That it takes more, give me 1 minute, that it takes more, okay, than 1 year or 2 years or 4 years. It takes 12 years to be able to finish high school. And we have to prepare each one of them. And if you guys ever come to a fact that you don't have a volunteer to sit on the board, give me a call. If the State Department can bring in people from outside to this district without the community's input, then by God, I think you got a right to invite a community member that doesn't live in the district, but has committed his time to this district. So, and I would be happy to sit there, okay? Thank you so much.
Hold on, Mr. Does any board member have a comment? I will speak on the second issue you brought up. It was brought up to Dr. Rango and Dr. Bull, so they are going to look into that. It was brought up, the second issue you brought up. For the football game, Mr. Roller was there and I was there. So that's being taken care of too. So our kids are working hard and staff is working hard. So I just want you, as you walk away, to understand that the issues you did bring up are being taken care of today. Thank you.
Okay, and to me, it's important because you're trying to build a building, okay? But you gotta communicate with the community in every issue from this point on until we meet the regulations that the state has put on this district. That bring the district with you, and I'm talking the parents, the business people. Bring them with you, and you'll accomplish what you want to do. If you don't, it ain't gonna get done, people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one thing also. Oh, go ahead.
No.
I just wanted to add that we are actually, now that you mentioned that you're more than happy to help and participate. Going to make sure that the community is aware of all the opportunities. There's always opportunities to participate and being active members. You can continue coming to the board meetings. You can go to DAC meetings, and we will continue to work on improving our communication with our community, because we do want parent participation. So any parents that you know in the community, please encourage them to participate in any way, shape, or form. Even if it's with the principal, helping out at the school, reading to their students, anything you can do to tell parents to help, to read, encourage them. If you can provide that example, that would be greatly appreciated, because that's something that I'm working to as well, and I know that a lot of our members are doing too. So if you can help us improve with the parent participation by being a role model, I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you for bringing that up.
Mr. Cerna, just want to mention that Mr. Thomas and I were at every home contest.
I know.
And we do take a look and see what's going on, and we do care. We want the best for our student athletes. And sometimes we go out and we talk to various board members, and Dr. Bull here and Dr. Rango here would let them know what's going on, and to the Miss BJ and Miss Gabriella there, that, you know, this is what we got to do. So we do see the things that are happening to our students. And sometimes some of the things are beyond our control. And one of the things I have mentioned, and I mentioned it to the principals there, is the officiating. Yeah, it's tough. When you're a low-performing school, you don't get the top officials. And that's the problem that we're fighting, because for years, I mean, if we take a look at the average of maybe 10 years in this district in football, you have probably won, you can count the number of games on one hand. And so no good officials that are top-ranked officials want to come to this district. So what do we get? We get the rookies. We get the people that are just learning how to officiate. And that's why we do have sometimes some of the problems. And for the officials, and there's nobody in the state that has been thrown out of more ball games, has been given more technicals than me. And that's a fact. But because I always fought for the things, but as I got older, I lost my hair and wiser, I began to realize that we have to teach our kids, sometimes the odds are against you. And we got to fight through that adversity there. And you can't, sometimes we have to set the examples. We're not going to get the best. And I know when I do baseball, I know I'm not going to get the best umpires that we can. But we try to teach our students, you got to fight through it. And this is the thing that we have. And I'm sure if we had good officials and they called every penalty, we would never get a game. It would all be just penalty after penalty. And as Mr. Thomas and I watch the games, I go, another flag, another flag. And so, I mean, they try their best, but you're right. We got to somehow, the league has to work and say, hey, we need better officials, educate them. And I know they do have camps for them to go and train, but we work on it, and we'll take care of our students.
My concern is for the child, and I want them to finish high school, okay, and still move on into a football field if they feel so, and not be hurt along the way, and not be able to compete. And that's, you know, we as adults can deal with that. But kids, they need that enthusiasm to participate and encourage other players to play. And that's my concern. The rules and regs, that's where we need to make sure that we have input in perspective to the big schools versus the non-big schools, okay? Because these kids are trying their hearts out. And it's the same thing with kids that need assistance in the grades, okay? And I wish you well. And I'll be coming to the meetings. I haven't been coming to the meetings because I've been involved with the fracking up north. So you can't do everything at one time. And but my concern still is with this district. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is that it, Monica?
Yes.
Thank you. We will now move on to the presentation from Cooperative Strategies under the superintendent's report.
They'd stay, but. Well, thank you guys for having us. Kevin Huber with Cooperative Strategies.
Yes.
We have hit another milestone in the design of Alsup. We're 50% of the way through, and I have the whole team here. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then they have a presentation for you. And then if you guys have any questions afterwards, please ask. We'd be happy to answer them.
Hi, I'm Jed Risser with Franz and Pittman.
Alan Anderson with Franz and Pittman. I'll say I've worked with Dr. Rangel before, and he is a huge asset. So
You can push that up because you're taller than I am.
Ben Coleman with Franz and Pittman.
Stephen Mumblow, Cooperative Strategies.
And I'm Josh McGarvey with RB+B Architects, and it's good to be back here with you guys and give you another update. It's been, I think the last time we were here was May, potentially, and so we just wanted to give you an update. As Kevin said, we're about 50% of the way through design right now, and so just wanted to show you where we're at and have you guys have an opportunity to ask questions. I wanted to start by just giving you a little history for if you haven't been around the whole entire process. We started design on the new Alsup Elementary School last November, and as you can see on the far left there, that's the beginning. The orange into the green is all design process milestones, and so right now we're right in the center of the screen. Finishing up design at the end of November is our plan, and then yellow is where the construction is happening. So as we move forward from design, we're going to begin construction with Franz and Pittman as the contractor starting next spring and then opening in fall of 2021. So I wanted to mention that the process up till now has been full of a lot of community input and a lot of different focus groups and also open houses. And I think most of you have been to a couple of our open houses, but there's been countless other design advisory group meetings, focus group meetings to focus on specific aspects of the project. And we're continuing in the next couple of weeks to have more focus group meetings and design advisory group meetings just to confirm that what we have in the design is still meeting the expectations of everybody at the district. So this is the site master plan. Overall, looking at it, it hasn't changed since the last time, but we wanted to highlight the 13 acres right in the center there. That's going to be the portion that we're constructing during this portion of the process. And you can see a conceptual future phase on the east side and on the north side. That would be where the future Adams City Middle School would go once funding comes through. And then the floor plans, it's a 2-story building, just a really high level look at it. It's about 77,000 square feet, and it's divided into 2 main wings. There's an athletic wing and a activity wing, and then a classroom wing. And so the classroom wing is 2 stories tall, and then the athletic and activity wing is only 1 story tall. So there's also a preschool addition to this, which will be a new feature for Alsup to have more students at the site. The total capacity for the school is going to be about 600 students. This is the second floor, which is the older kids, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders will be upstairs. And a couple of features up here that are nice are some breakout spaces, some small group spaces that can be collaboratively used by most of the teachers. You can break out into small groups, or you can actually have collaboration between different classes. That'll be a new opportunity that Alsup hasn't had in the past. And also, the 5th grade has a special location with some small group rooms and direct access to an innovation room where they can study STEM and also other robotics and other kind of 21st century learning concepts. So this is an overall view of the whole building from the sky, just kind of looking at the main entry there, right in the center of the screen. This is what a conceptual view of what it would look like at the main entry, welcoming people in. It's a little dark on the screen here, but this is what the main office would look like. It would be very open and inviting, have plenty of room for the staff and for all of the storage that's required and filing for those staff members. And then this is a view of the main media center. So this is really the heart of the building. So it's a 2-story space that's full of lots of natural light. And it's really, as I was saying, the center of the building. This is where you would you'd first see this as you walked into the building, and it's open to all, that you can walk in there and see kids collaborating. There's a lot of bright colors and just all the books, and also technology on display right there as you walk in. And then this is one of those small group study areas that I was talking about on the 2nd floor. Just another opportunity for kids to have a variety of learning spaces throughout the building. This is really hard to see, but this is an outdoor reader's nook area. So this is an opportunity to take the learning environment and bring it outdoors. That helps a little bit, thank you. So you can see the media center is the large glass box towards the right side of the screen, and then just to the left of that will be the reader's nook area. And that will have benches and also some soft areas of turf for the kids to bring a book out there or bring a class out there and study outside. I wanted to mention one other thing about sustainability. So as part of the grant, the BEST grant program that's being used to partially fund this project, we're adhering to CHIPS, which stands for Collaborative for High Performance Schools. And that's a point-based system with these priorities right here. So it's to protect student and staff health and enhance learning environments, to conserve energy, water, and other natural resources, and also to reduce waste, pollution, and environmental degradation. So really, if you've heard of LEED, this is a very similar standard to that. And we are tracking that and monitoring our points as we develop the design. So as you can see here, we're required to have 110 points in order to meet the CHIPS verified level. And right now we're tracking about 131, which is very good. So we have a little bit of flexibility as we move into the final design documents. We have some flexibility on which points we can go after and maybe find some cost savings in that program as well. Some of the features that we're highlighting in this building in terms of sustainability are a very high efficiency HVAC system. We're going to have LED lighting throughout the school, so every single light will be LED, which will save on energy costs significantly. And then we're going to use high recycled content in a lot of our finishes throughout the building. So now I'll pass it over to Franz and Pittman to talk a little bit about where we're standing with the budget.
We've had the pleasure of being on board with this team, helping them plan and also track construction costs with the design of this project so far. So up on the screen, you'll see, just kind of the history of where we're at cost from a cost perspective. So you can see, as Josh mentioned, we're at design development. So we're a little bit over halfway through the design process now. And we just completed an updated cost estimate based on those design development documents. So you can see here on this slide, again, we started off the process by doing a cost modeling workshop where we had several people from the school and the design team and the owner's reps services there to help model the project and get it, within range of the hard cost budget there. So. Along with that, we've been tracking value engineering, cost savings measures to get in line with where our hard cost budget is. So you can see through this history, we're making progress. We have a lot of opportunities that we're exploring, and just really focus on working together as a team to get to our target goal there of 27.3. So we'll go to this next slide here. Want to talk a little bit about the contingency part of it and really how we're managing risks through this process. We have two different contingencies shown here. The first one, we have a 2.5% construction contingency that we have included in our costs at this time. And then we also have a 2% inflation and escalation contingency. Again, these are really set up to help manage risks as we're working through the process. Our next major milestone estimate that we'll have will be the construction documents, which will be a bid out process to various subcontractors. So, we're just continue to work through that. The last part here with the budget that I want to mention is just some allowances that we track. Again, this is things that we've identified as risks as we're working through the project, and we've included allowances, to help cover some of those risk categories. So again, that's just kind of where we're at with budget and how we're tracking and how we're working towards the main goals there.
And Ben Coleman, project manager with Franson Pittman. And I know when we move on to a job site or onto a piece of property, we're part of the community and we're neighbors, and we are very noisy neighbors. We make a lot of noise, create dust, and have activities that can be dangerous. So we put up fences around our job site, and we reach out to our neighbors, those that are adjacent to us along Cherry, Birch, and 69th, to let them know who I am, give them my card, or leave it there if they're not there, so they can reach out to me if they have something they need to address with construction, so they can know who I am, know who my superintendent is, and we can appease them as best as possible because we are part of the community while we're there working with them. Also, construction is a great opportunity for learning as we build schools, and I've been building schools the past 4 years now, and I love to see students come by the job site. It's an opportunity for Alsup as well as the other elementary, middle school, and high schools here in the district to have an opportunity to see the job site, see what's happening. Being biased, I want them to work on my job site in the future because we need those skilled workers and want to have a job for them. But they can see what we do and learn how construction, because it's more than just swinging a hammer. There's a lot that goes into it, from finance, from design, et cetera. And so that's how we want to be a part of the community here.
So a couple of next steps. We have a design advisory group meeting next Thursday, the 12th, and you are all welcome to attend. It will be with the staff and other members of the DAG at Alsup. And then we have focus group meetings. This will be another round of breaking it down into really detailed conversations, and that will be the week of the 16th. And as I mentioned earlier, we're finishing drawings in November. It's quite a lengthy process to get a permit issued for a project of this size. And so it'll take about 3 months, most likely, to get through that entire process with the state and the local jurisdictions. And so final pricing and then construction will begin in early spring of next year. So with that, any questions for the team?
Any board members got questions? Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Coleman, quick question for you. I think the piece about reaching out to students is really cool. There's nothing that gets young kids' attention like heavy equipment and machinery.
Yeah, for sure.
How's that being facilitated, like those visits from student groups?
Yeah, so we've had different opportunities where classes have come by when we're say erecting steel, and they can see the different we work with cranes, and there's weights involved and angles. So we've had classes come by and have lessons on that, as well as seeing plumbing, HVAC systems. We have we call FP Learn system at Franson Pittman, where we go through and so it all depends on how we want to interact with the school, and we address it to the age level, from where does the water come from where you turn on, up to, hey, how do we calculate, that steel beam is X thousands of pounds, and that crane can hold this, and when it's reached out to there. So, we can facilitate it as best as we can interact, as well as having tours with the community and or with the various schools that want to work with us. So that's what we've done in the past, and we accommodate each district as they see it.
Thank you.
And just one more question. And they're all local schools, right? They're all Adams 14 schools that go into these sites?
Correct, yeah.
Yes, can you put that first slide on?
Just go back all the way, Monica.
I'll go.
Yeah. That'll be easier.
Oh,
The site one or this?
yeah, for the showing the overview of the school.
One more.
This one?
Okay, yeah, looking at it from here, to see where it's all at, and I'm from the area, so I know that area. So I see where the school is going to look, and just to let you know, that's where the original elementary was when it was Adams City Elementary, and the parking lot. But my concern is you don't show the cafeteria that exists there now. That's going to be a sore thumb in your thing there as people pass by and they look at that beautiful school. And you have that old cafeteria building all boarded up. And what do you plan on doing with that building till we can knock it down? Because I hate to have kids going over there, going to that beautiful school, and I think it's a parking lot there now. And how long do we plan on leaving that building, or do you know, or what's our plans, or?
Mr. All, it's currently not part of this project here, but the follow-on project for the Adams City Middle School, should it go to that conceptual future phase. So it's not part of the current construction project, it's a follow-on. So there currently aren't any plans to demolish the building as of now, not for the cafeteria nor for the auditorium.
Is there a reason why? Because I can't see having that beautiful school up there and then having this building that was built in 1968 there right in front.
We agree with you. Excuse me. When they wrote the original BEST grants, they did one for Alsup and one for the middle school. In the same year, Alsup was awarded. When they built the budgets for those, they included the demolition of Alsup in the Alsup project, and then because of the position where we were going to put the middle school, they included the demolition of those two buildings and the old middle school with the middle school budget. So unfortunately, the middle school didn't get approved, but we are going to try and go back for that. So right now, under how the BEST program is, we don't have funds, and that scope wasn't included in our original grant application. So right now, our hope is just to get that middle school grant this coming year, and then we could take care of those buildings pretty quick.
Okay, then I believe I had talked to you once again about the ball field and how it's set up. And at that time, I said all ball fields in the state of Colorado have to be on the northeast corner. Otherwise, we have kids, and just had a gentleman up here talking about the health of our students, and you'd be surprised how many kids duck from the ball when it goes up in the sun. So are we still planning on leaving it the way it is there, or are we going to put it in
You
the
caught me
northeast corner?
with, this is a slightly outdated drawing, so it actually will be constructed the way that you've asked it to be constructed, looking from the batter's box to the northwest. But this particular drawing is a little bit outdated in that way, so it will be corrected when it gets built. But good catch.
I got a couple of questions. Mr. Coleman, how is it, is there going to be any union workers working on this site? And if so, could you, like the subcontractors?
So it depends on, very few of our subcontractors use union labor. A few mechanical contractors or steel erectors. At this time, we don't have that selection, so I'm not sure which subcontractors we'd be using that utilize union labor.
So in the BEST grant, the gentleman behind you, does the BEST grant have anything selected for union workers to be working on that site?
They do not.
So it's up to who to pick the subcontractors?
Yeah, so we competitively bid all of the work on the job, and then based on how those bids come in and the best fit for the job, those subcontractors are chosen.
Do Adams 14, Dr. Bull, Dr. Randall have anything to do with the providing union workers to do work on that Alsup? We don't have no input. Adams 14 School District Administration doesn't have no input about union workers?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, if there's, certain subcontractors that, are union shops that, you want to have, brought to our attention as an opportunity to bid on the project, I mean, we're open to all of that. Franz and Pittman has a pre-qualification process in place, and, we want to make sure that we have the right subcontractors looking at this project. We want to make sure that we have subcontractors that are the right size working on this project. We want to make sure the subcontractor is not going to fail on us during this project. So by all means, I mean, if you have recommendations, if the community has recommendations of certain subcontractors, please, funnel that information over to us. We will take it from there. We vet them. We make sure that they're a good fit on the project. And then, like I said earlier, at construction documents, we'll have a full bid out process. And at that point, we're soliciting, numerous subcontractors per trade. And what we do then is we get the bids in, we evaluate them, we level them, and then we're making a selection of the subcontractor that's best value for your project.
What about minorities?
Yeah, that's, again, those are, we're not, our process that we have in place, is welcoming to, to any group. I mean, it's, if it's union, if it's a WBE or a small business or, whichever, I mean, we're open to evaluating that. Again, we just, we take that on as part of our process to pre-qualify, to vet it, and make sure that it's something that's going to be of best value to your project.
Dr. Randall and Dr. Bull, I would like for you to get updates on the contractors and the minority contractors that is working on Adams 14 schools, as far as Alsup is concerned.
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you. My next question. I hear you have a focus group in the design group. Have you gave this presentation to the community since the last time I was there?
We had a community open house after each deadline, and so we plan to have one in October. We haven't put it on the calendar, but we actually haven't had a lot of community participation when we've invited the community, and so the focus groups themselves became a little bit more important for a feedback standpoint. So we'll let you know when that one's on the schedule.
Dr. Randall, Dr. Bull, I would like for this board to know how are they submitting the residents of that community, how are they finding out about it? Are they sending out cards? Are they sending out flyers? To me, this is something big and important for this community. And for a gentleman to say they're not getting a big reception, because I was at the last one and I believe it rained or snowed that day. So the weather was kind of bad. So we can blame that on the weather. That was last April, I believe. Now we're in September. And then you bring us the same drawings that we showed in September. And I'm just trying to figure out I would like for the community to have this presentation put up on the channel so community can see it on the channel. I like for flyers to go out. The community needs to know what we're doing in Adams 14 and not just bring it in front of the board and they figure that Alsup ain't being built. I'm done.
Mr. Thomas, to your point, I'm happy to report that we're in the final steps of designing a comprehensive brochure which is meant to be direct mailed to every household in the neighborhood that the school serves. And we should be done with that in the next 2 weeks. Our intention is to tie that to an open house in which we'll have, in addition to other activities, another presentation, a comprehensive presentation of the building and all of its features to the community. And the entire community will be invited for that. We have a draft of that, which I'll be happy to have a copy of that for you after today's meeting, so you can have a look at that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Any more questions? Yes, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maybe not a question for you all, but given that the new Alsup Elementary will be located adjacent from the bus terminal, are there plans to maybe make improvements to the bus terminal longer term?
I think that's RTD.
Like the school district's bus terminal.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Given that the new Alsup is going to be located immediately next to the bus, where our bus facility is, are there any long-term plans to improve the bus facility?
Oh, okay. The service center where our buses are, there are currently no plans right now.
Mr. Leo, I got a question. Dr. Bull, Dr. Rangel, what Mr. Roller brought up, could you give us, or can y'all see what it'd take to tear down those buildings as far as cost-wise?
Just a few of the unknowns. We would need to get that tested for asbestos and get a plan put together. We have a HERA reports and they identify where it's assumed, but we would need to go fully through there. Get pretty pricey. So, but we can do that if that's what you guys would like.
Senator?
Yeah, I would say I think that's interesting to look at. The other thing I would look at is the service center. There's just going to be this beautiful new school. Potentially and hopefully soon, there will be a beautiful new middle school next to it. It's a game changer for this neighborhood. And to have abandoned buildings, or to have a bus terminal or a service center that is still an aged facility as well, I think there's a lot of opportunity for synergy, I think.
Ms.
Chair,
Martinez?
certainly, we can take a look at what it would cost to remove those buildings, but there is a lot that goes along with that. It's also an added cost for them to go through the study to determine what it's going to cost to take those buildings down, so we'll need to take a look at that as well.
Yes, and go ahead, please.
We're in the process of hiring a hygienist right now to come test Alsup. We could ask for an alternate proposal, have them take a look at those buildings.
That is with Nino Moore?
Yeah. What's that?
Nino Moore, is that you're talking
No,
about?
it's an open solicitation.
Open,
So
okay.
we had a walk yesterday actually at Alsup and had 4 or 5 different firms. So we could have this added on, or whoever gets selected, give us a proposal for that as well. And then we could start there.
Ms. Martinez, how you feel about it? Look at getting the cost for the old high school 2 buildings.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if we start making our buildings really nice and updated, we should work on the other buildings as well.
Roller, how you feel about it?
I just expressed myself.
But I'm just saying, we want it for the record. We want it for the record.
Yeah, if we could just get some kind of cost, let us know. Maybe by a miracle, I'll hit the lateral and I can pay for it or something.
Okay.
Thank you. We're good. Thank you. We will move on to routine consent items. I need a motion to accept the consent items 1.0 through 5.3.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of routine items, consent items 1.0 through 5.3.
May I have a second, please?
Second for the approval of consent items 1.1 to 5.3.
Is there any discussion? No. Monica, there's no discussion. Can I have roll call, please?
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye. Now we're moving on to communication. Can any board members share any communications with us for the week? Ms. Martinez?
I just wanted to say that I went to spaghetti dinner, and I believe most of us did, and it was, I really liked it. It was a great experience. It was nice to see the community together, and I really appreciate the fact that I'm starting to see more of district presence, not only at events that happen within the district, but also like in the community. So I want to say that I'm really glad that we're starting to be more visible. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Senator Moreno?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just look forward to a hopefully productive conversation with the State Board of Education tomorrow. Dr. Bull, Mr. Rangel, get a good night's sleep, and see you tomorrow.
Mr. Rolla?
Just like to say that it's been a good year so far for our activities that are happening at the high school level. Went to the Skyview football game, and we had the stands packed from people from District 14. Went to the ball game Friday, and the stands were packed again. So people are getting involved, and I think that's the most important thing, is that they're starting to get involved, and students are well behaved. They're not running around, they're watching ball games, and as we do there. But my only concern was, I thought that, what was it, 3-4 years ago, we bought a refrigerator for the athletic department, and it was my understanding we would buy one and the district would buy another. So that way we would have a refrigerator in the Eagle's Nest for the gymnasium concession, and we would have one in the football concession for the football games and the soccer games and whatever else is happening out there. Friday, we went to go buy, we always got to have our hot dogs, and then we always had to have a drink. But when we got our water, it was hot. And that's unacceptable. Now, I don't know where the ball fell, but we did our part, and we got the new refrigerator. Somebody else dropped the ball, and if you don't have the money, then come and see us, and we can see it there, because I'm not a believer of transporting the refrigerator from the football field to the gymnasium back and forth, because when you start doing things like that, eventually it's going to break. And so my thing is, and I believe, what do we spend, like $2,500 for that refrigerator? And it keeps drinks cold, but I would like to see us buy another refrigerator, or the district uphold its part of buying a refrigerator, so that we have one at each area.
The school was gonna buy the other one.
The school was supposed to? Okay, the school.
The district bought one.
Okay, so the district bought one, then the school was supposed to buy the other. And I don't know if it was gonna be the athletic department or the school.
Mr. Rolla, we'll follow up on that.
Just to say, I was with Mr. Rolla at the football game, and our water was very hot. It came out of a bucket, so it was very disappointing, but I just want to say thank you. This meeting is now no further business coming before the board this evening. We will adjourn at 7:45. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming, and have a good night. Drive safe.